631. 800-559-7631. That's 800-559-7631.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Sports Center. Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. There are no mid-major teams in the Sweet 16 this year. 15 teams from just 3 conferences, the Big 10, Big 12, and the SEC, with a record 7 teams left. The only other conference represented, the ACC, with Duke. ESPN has learned the Texas Longhorns could be closing in on a deal with Sean Miller to be the team's next head coach. Miller would leave Xavier, who knocked Texas out of the tournament in the first 4. In the women's tournament, number 1 overall seed UCLA goes to the Sweet 16 with an 84-67 win over Richmond. Lauren Betts, 30 points and 14 boards, the first 30-10 game of her career. More second-round coverage starts at noon Eastern today on the ESPN family of networks.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Before today's second-round matchup for Alabama women's basketball against Maryland in the NCAA tournament, here are thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry.
Well, we've got to find ways to put 4 in double figures. We've got to defend the glass. You know, we come out and play the way that we're capable. We put ourselves in a position to get back home. And there's no question we're motivated regardless of where it would be. But there's some special incentive here. I know our players are going to do everything they can to represent the front of their chests, and how fun would that be? And it's a great opportunity for us. You know, when we see Maryland as of late, they lost the first round of their tournament. We did as well. You know, they had a day yesterday against a really good Norfolk State team, close game, just like we had a close game. So it's going to come down to your will. You know, players this time of year make plays. It's not so much about the X's and O's. We're going to stay fundamentally disciplined in who we are principle-wise.
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We've got you covered this afternoon for Alabama against Maryland in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Our radio coverage from College Park, Maryland will begin at 3:45 p.m., leading up to tip-off at 4 p.m. You can listen to the game throughout our radio network as well as the Varsity Network app. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and you do you.
The lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, if nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. They go up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Somebody respond.
Well, I'm not Thom Abraham. What? And I can also promise you that Thom Abraham would not be having the conversation that Steve Moulton and myself just had before we started the show.
I would love to see Thom Abraham at a Breaking Benjamin concert.
I'm also not Thom Abraham.
No,
He
but
is
you
not
are
Thom
an Abraham.
Again, we're legally obligated to have one Abraham on the show.
Yeah, that's right. We're thinking about you there, ESPN Winchester. All right, it's all about you.
Yeah, it's legal. It's part of the deal.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, there's an Abraham. All right, stamp it and approve it.
Yep, it's good.
Put it on the air.
That's right. That is what it is. As we are on the air on ESPN Winchester as well as 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV, where you get a special gift today if you go to WZZN TV.
Is it this?
Oh, that was a special gift to us.
All right.
It's actually Steve Moulton on camera. That's what the special gift is. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see that.
It is Steve Moulton on a camera.
So when I subbed in for you last week, one day, I'm talking to John, by the way.
Yeah.
It is one of the cameras was motion censored to the door.
Yeah, it does that.
And I waited till Hunk brought it up because I was just fine with the camera right on the door. I'm like, no.
If Steve is going to be on the air anytime outside of 5 o'clock, we're putting him on a camera.
That is true. And what you do whenever the camera is facing the door or a little bit of that picture frame, you just click on this button right here and it makes it person. Watch this. Ready? Now it's just you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all your glory and your Happy Meal toys.
In your 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is the very first 97.7 ESPN Zone shirt I got.
What's on the back?
Nothing. It's just a gray shirt.
See,
I own way too many gray shirts as well.
Well, see, and
probably like you and flannel.
I do. No, this is I wear this flannel, and you know what this is? All this is just like a quote unquote light jacket that I just throw on because in the mornings it's cold, and then depending on what the temperature is in these rooms, I either take it off or I leave it on to what the normal shirt was that I plan on wearing.
So if your normal listening habit is just listening to the Thom Abraham show, I came in and brought these guys Happy Meals. I bought one for me too because during the Blitz they just sounded so depressed.
It was that
was a depression filled therapy session for those 2 hours.
We were down, like both of us were down. I've been up since about 3 o'clock this morning. And I mean, daughters who never wakes up in the middle of the night woke up. Just not just one of those like not one of those sounds. Like it was one of these what? I'm like, okay, the whole house is awake.
Like a Twisted Sister concert.
I mean, it was
come on now
wide awake. Like that woman slept through every bit of the storm that happened last night.
Really?
Not one moment did she ever make a sound during those storms. Like it was one of those that like my wife and I are sitting and trying to watch a show on Netflix, and all you hearing from the outside is the like you hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Never budged.
It was a good storm, though.
It was a great storm. This morning, though, 3 a.m., just she wakes up screaming, and stop playing with the Happy Meal toy.
Sorry.
So I've been away.
I haven't made a bucket yet.
Great. I call you St. John's.
Oh, wow.
So now she wakes up, and then her screaming wakes the rest of us up. We all try to go back to sleep, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Yeah. My son, who was already in the room in his little like side bed that we've created for him over here.
Oh, there's a side bed.
Yeah, it's because he always wanted to sleep in the bed. We're like, no. So have you ever heard of a nugget? Do you know what a nugget is?
No, I don't.
So a nugget is like basically these little
bean bag.
It's not really a bean bag. It's more about imagine a couch cushion.
Okay.
2 couch cushions put together.
Okay.
And so you can fold it together to make one big, like, thick couch cushion, or you can lay it out.
It feels like a bean bag to me.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of does, but there's a little bit more to it. And so we've laid them down.
You just didn't want to call it a bean bag.
No. And so it's not made of the little material. Like it's made of more like what a couch is.
Okay.
And so we have that set up beside the bed so that he can sleep there so that, I have more than 4 inches of a king size bed on, it'd be really nice.
Yeah.
So He's already there. He's awake. He then starts wanting to play with baby sister, and baby sister's just giggling at him trying to play. And mom and I are just going, oh my God, can you two please just stop?
This is 3 a.m.
Yes.
This is 3 a.m.
Right now, there are bars that are just now closing. Can we just please, like, we're looking at the clock going 2 more hours of sleep. We need 2 more hours. We never got it. So I've been up since 3 a.m. John has been up since about what time? Like 5 o'clock, 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not making any excuses to why that first episode back was pretty mediocre.
But,
I was gone for an extended weekend, and it was pretty much a vacation, and I was still getting texts to do stuff for the station, even though
I didn't text you.
No, you didn't. Don't worry.
But I will let you know though, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Some guy who's driving right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to be whenever my daughter is born. I'm not answering any text messages that aren't congratulations.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
But I will say, it for me, I felt bad because I didn't bring my A game, and I know there's a switch that I should flip that brings me right back into the mode that I need to be in for the entertainment purposes.
I say every bit of that to say I now understand the definition of a Happy Meal. Because
come on now.
Because since we had this, the mood has 1,000% changed.
And so, I mean, if anybody has the question I got in the drive-through at McDonald's right along South Memorial Parkway.
Yeah, you got 3 kids.
It was toy or no toy. I mean, how is that even a question? That needs who's buying Happy Meals without toys?
You don't get a Happy Meal without the toy. Come on now.
Come on.
They should know that better than anybody. And this one came with a very timely
basketball
McDonald's game, all-star game.
And there's
toy.
a QR code on it too.
And you can connect your phone to it.
I mean, come on.
And it's pretty technologically advanced.
Okay.
But I will say this, it doesn't relate to the old toys that you used to get.
So they ask me every single time that I go get my son one of these, which I did not realize that the basketball was a McDonald's toy, because the basketball that John is currently playing with in there that he continues to miss, like he's St. John behind the 3. That just like St. John, he just shot it over the basket.
He just made one. There you go.
All right, you're halfway to St. John numbers.
It's my third one made.
You're halfway there.
None of them have been 3-pointers.
So I didn't realize what that was, and I've been playing with that basketball all weekend around the house, not knowing that was from a Happy Meal that my son got on Friday until you brought it in today, and you opened the box, and I went, wait, is that what that's from? I've seriously just been walking around the house just throwing that thing up all day long. ADHD.
Of course, the weekend, we went from 68 to 16, and kudos to Jaybird. He is right now leading the way in our group here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I realize Winchester, you got your own set as well. And Jaybird went 99.9%.
Okay,
560 points. So I'm running down the list here. And by the way, I am noticing who's on the leaderboard and who's not really high up on the leaderboard.
I know I'm not high up on it. I mean,
there is a hunk up there on the leaderboard.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. She beats me every single year.
Starts with a T.
I
know.
And it's not Tom.
Every
Abraham.
single year. Every year. She and I do a bracket challenge against each other.
She is boat racing you.
Where is she? What number is she?
I saw it earlier, and I'm trying to bring it up while I'm talking to you right now. I just know I saw her well in advance of one Joe.
Oh no, yeah. No, see, because I at the moment am sitting at like 180th place or something like that.
Jeez.
Like I am awful.
I think she had Auburn, but I mean we've got a lot. So there she is, 128.
Okay,
she's 128.
Okay, so I'm she's at 128. I'm at 180.
Yeah.
The biggest difference between her poll or her bracket and mine, is I honestly can't say, because I thought originally she picked Tennessee to win the national championship, but I think
she's got Auburn. She's got Auburn,
and so do I.
Do you?
So look, and the only reason I chose Auburn is because I felt like this was the one season that I could be a homer and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Because every other year it's like, oh,
what, do you want Auburn to play Tennessee? And then is that what you have in the what? Would be the national championship game?
It would be because Tennessee, it has because she has Tennessee and Alabama playing each other in the Final Four.
That's right.
So now I've got to look at my bracket to see what I have chosen because now
I have Houston. I have Houston cutting down the nets.
No, see, I have Auburn beating Florida in the Final Four. She has Tennessee, or I have Tennessee beating Alabama in the Final Four, and then I have Auburn beating Tennessee. And
I do have 3 out of the Final Four out of the SEC with Florida, Auburn, and Alabama all making the Final Four.
Look, and honestly, outside of Tennessee having to still go up against Houston and Alabama still having to go
how about going up against Kentucky in the next round?
Well, but
Kentucky won both games, but
but I'm now looking at this and I'm thinking Auburn and Alabama have a really good, or not Auburn, Alabama, but Auburn and Florida have a really good road in front of them because of Arkansas taking care of St. John. Like, that's where everybody gets excited about the upsets, but at the same time,
but Boogie played a lot better in game 2 for Arkansas. That's a dangerous team.
They are.
And I realized they started out 0-5. I don't know how often I heard that over the weekend. They started out 0-5, but they didn't have Boogie for a large part of that. So he is a special talent, and he is capable of getting that team and just say climbing aboard and let's have at it.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I am on that first row.
Are you really?
But don't worry.
Why didn't you use your name? It's like your dad.
Let me guess, you used to be cool.
Yeah,
no, you'd know me.
So I put out a text for all the people that work here. Hey, feel free to join our bracket challenge.
I joined it. I didn't want people looking at my bracket.
I get a text back from the guy who hosts this show occasionally and says, I've already joined it. Well, where are you?
So my bracket's called First Try with a winky face.
Can you stop not using your name? He doesn't use it on social media. He doesn't use it on the show. He doesn't use it in the bracket.
First Try winky face?
I am the only one with a team that is out because they lost
I found it now.
to Arkansas.
Yeah, because it's the only one that has a big X beside their champion. It's the only one.
I got 500 points. I got it 94% right. Look.
Hey, I'm happy. I have 77% right. So I'm rank right now is 68. I'm good with that. And by the way, of the one upset that I really thought was going to happen didn't, and it was a last second heartbreaker as Maryland walked with the ball. But Colorado State, I picked Colorado State because there was a lot of experience on that basketball team. And I was also pulling for Drake as well. I did the first round upset for Drake. I'm a D2 guy.
Drake fans, man.
And how about the Drake coach immediately going, all right, I'm done. But Northwest Missouri State was a power in D2.
So here's the sad thing. Okay, I'm going to do this exercise with you guys before we get to the phone lines when we come back. The number 1 team in the SEC this college football season in third down conversions was LSU.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, 49% of their third down conversions, or they converted 49%.
Okay, still can't play defense.
So 49% of their third down conversions is what they converted. I have my percentage up of how many I have right in our bracket challenge right now.
Is LSU beating you right now?
How many SEC teams do you think have better third down conversion percentages than I have as far as how many of us have it right?
The max answer is 16, right? The max answer is 16.
The max answer is 16. We'll have it when we come back. I know that Wolverine Dan is on hold as well. Yeah. So the LSU converted 49% of their third down conversions. How many SEC teams do you think has a better third down conversion rate than I have at rate of picking
your
the
winning
tournament
percentage.
Right now. Yes.
Jeez.
But your champion is still available.
My champion is still available.
So I'm trying to give a little pat on the back.
Yeah, like how many points are you still able to get? That's the real
your
question.
max. What's your max number right now?
230.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean 230?
That's his max points.
No. See, my points right now at 410. It says round of 64. Oh, my max points I can still get is 1650.
Okay. All right.
That's still more than what mine can get, and right now I'm like 23rd.
Well, that's because
I'm at 1711.
Well, that's because
1710. Excuse
me. 1710. So okay, so I'm not. Look,
no, you're not that.
No, but
your
right
percentage
now,
is bad though.
My percentage is god awful. So tell me when we come back, I want you two to guess what is higher. And how many SEC teams had higher?
I really hope that Auburn's third down rate is not higher than your winning percentage.
Thom Abraham Show. We'll get to your phone calls when we come back as well. 256-576-4977. You can say it, John.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Ten of 15.
Come on, man.
I know. That's not bad.
Come on.
I'm not used to having somebody over in that chair. 10 of 15. That's not how many teams from the SEC are playing in the Sweet 16. That is how many.
There's 16 teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But there's that. I mean, in the Sweet 16, but 10 of 15 is how many SEC teams are in the D1 top 25.
Oh, this is baseball.
That are all in the top 15 right now.
Baseball has just if there's spring sports, I've watched more softball and baseball over the last 4 years than I mean, if I were to go back 20 years ago and say, hey, you're going to be watching baseball and softball. Oh, did I lose a bet or something? I mean,
well, and I think that I know that obviously we all love the fact that we don't have to have a pay-per-view game for college football anymore. Like you can see it.
Yeah.
You're seeing.
It's still pay-per-view, but I mean, it's just a different way.
Now you have to pay your cable bill.
Yeah.
But the softballs, the baseballs, the gymnastics, even basketball has been the biggest benefactor of the deal with ESPN, because now you can see every single one of those games. Like if you wanted to watch every single Alabama softball game, you could.
Yeah. You absolutely
can. And if you wanted to watch every single Alabama baseball game, you could.
Yeah.
But there are.
I know they beat Tennessee in the first game. They beat them
2 out of 3.
Did they really?
Yeah,
that's a big weekend for Bama.
So in the D1 baseball top 25, there are 10 teams in the top 15.
Bama baseball up here tomorrow, by the way. They're over at Toyota Field.
Oh, at Toyota Field?
Yeah. We will be airing that game because they're at Toyota Field.
And I'm actually, and we actually know that it was happening. Unlike Auburn, we had no idea it was taking place.
That's true. That was kind of day of, we've got all this going on, and Auburn's up here.
Yeah, we had that Tuesday was so.
That was a Tuesday before the SEC basketball tournament.
Yeah, and it was Super Tuesday, wasn't it?
That's right. And I called Andy and I was like, well, it was nice of Butch to do that for you. Just camp out here and just drive on up.
Yeah. So Tennessee, Arkansas, and Georgia are your top 3 teams in the top 25.
Jeez.
Texas is number 7. LSU is number 8. Oklahoma is 9. Auburn is 11. Alabama is 12. Vandy is 14. And Ole Miss is 15.
Wow.
So you get 7 of the 16 in the Sweet 16.
Jeez.
And now you have 10 of the 16 in the top 15 of college baseball.
Did I just hear somebody say it just means more?
I also heard cha-ching.
I'm telling you,
Ronald McDuck somewhere is just like,
what
was it?
Scrooge
McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck
Diving into his little bank of gold.
The coins. Yeah. That might as well be Greg Sankey
right now.
I don't think there's ever been a conference this overpowered in all of sports.
I don't see how basketball can sustain this, but baseball, I want to say this is at least the 3rd or 4th year in a row where you take a look at the top 25 that you just chronicled: SEC, 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 ACC, SEC, SEC, ACC, SEC. Those programs are sustaining that success right now.
So before we get to our phone lines at 256-576, thank you. 977. I asked you.
I did that last week.
How many teams? He did. How many teams of the 16 had better third down conversion rates this college football season than what I have currently?
Your winning percentage.
As my winning percentage. LSU led all of the SEC last year with 49.2% conversion rate on third down.
So I looked this up just for me. Auburn's third down conversion rate was at 41.8% last year.
Which somehow is more than Georgia. I have no idea on that.
Well,
would you?
His name's Bobo, but
it's also because they threw interceptions before they can get to third down.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobo.
All right. So between you two, what would be the guess between 1 through 16?
I'm going to say at least 11.
Okay.
I'm going to go 11, a hard 11.
I think he's going overkill right now. I'm going to say.
Oh wow.
I'm going to say 7.
Right now, there's only 2 SEC teams that I have a better percentage than. That would be Mississippi State at 36.9 and Kentucky at 33.8.
Joe, what were you doing when you were making this bracket?
I was listening to Steve Moulton talk. I did it during the show. Remember Thursday?
Yeah.
I did it I was just like, click, 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 click. And Moulton's saying something. I said, hey, by the way, while you've been talking, I just made my bracket. What? I did.
You sounded like you're blaming Steve.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying he can remember the moment that I did it because I was paying attention to him. Yeah. I'm at 37.5%, by the way.
Golly.
37.5.
And you still have a shot to beat me at the end of this.
Yeah.
77%.
Yeah.
That just means one thing. It's going right off the cliff. It is going right. So I did notice there was a particular talk show host down in the Birmingham metropolitan area. Let's just say he's follically challenged and used to be on this station. He and I had the same Final Four. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So here's somebody that I hope his bracket goes off the cliff, at least on earlier and later this week, and that would be Wolverine Dan. Welcome in.
What's up, Dan?
Tom Abraham
What's
show.
up, Dan?
How's it going?
Well, okay, let's start with some questions first and answers, okay?
Whoa.
Now, SEC had how many teams in the big game?
28.
No. Hold on, time out. I'm talking about the basketball playoffs we have right now in NCAA. How many teams from the SEC?
82.
14.
It was 14. It was 14.
Okay, how many they have left? How many they have left?
Seven?
Half.
Yeah.
Exactly 7, right?
Yes.
Okay, Big Ten, it had 8 teams, right?
I don't know that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
And they have 4 teams left.
I know Michigan State is still there. I know your Wolverines are still in there. What other? Wisconsin got beat, didn't they?
Purdue's in.
Purdue is in.
And Maryland.
Oh,
you forget about Maryland every once in a while.
Maryland's an ACC team, but I guess not.
Okay, fair enough. Now,
and that was a travel, by the way. That was a travel.
That
was a travel.
So here's the other question.
Colorado
Sorry,
State
you got you 3 guys are in the studio. I want to ask. Well, each one of you just tell me yes or no. Did either of you 3 in that studio have Michigan in the Sweet 16?
No. I had the Tritons winning.
Oh, I didn't even have
round.
Michigan in the round of 32.
I had the Tritons winning in the first round.
I actually had San Diego winning against them in the first round as well.
See?
And it was close.
You SEC people.
No. That had 0. No. Whoa. If you're going to go there with me, Dan, I saw your reaction at the end of the game. San Diego was right there. And why you let him shoot a 3, I still have no idea. You don't let him shoot a 3 when you're up by 3.
But the thing is this. It's not how much you win by as long as you win. Nobody gave up.
Do you agree with me? You do not allow the best 3-point shooter to shoot a 3 when you're up by 3 with less than 3 seconds.
Our defense.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, I'll agree with it. It could be a lot better. But with that said, these guys don't quit. All right, these guys don't quit. And the thing is, I said, you know what? No matter what happens after being in the Sweet 16 now, I'm going to ask that question to all 3 of you, and I bet you probably 75% of your audience, maybe even more, didn't even take my Wolverines. So how about that?
Well, yeah, and the reason is because
you're playing.
It had nothing to do with the Big Ten. It had to do more about the fact of when you're looking at and trying to find your trends, it was the fact that it was a 12-5 matchup, which is a historically one that a 12 seed normally has won at least 2 or 3 of those outside it over the last 5 or 6 years. So you would assume that was going to happen again.
What is the point spread between Auburn and Michigan?
There you go.
No, I don't know. Do you know? I'm going to try to.
I'm sure you guys probably.
I'm trying to look it up right now.
7.5.
7.5. I'll take the.
It's actually 8.5.
I'll take the over on that.
Well, this team could giant slayers.
Arkansas has been an underdog in every single one of their games so far this March Madness. So if they can do it, maybe Michigan can do it as well. I'll give you that.
Okay. Well,
how are they on How are they on free throw shooting?
You tell me.
I don't know. This is your team.
I know it's my. Listen, man. I don't have time to sit in front of a computer.
You don't have time. Wolverine Dan, Mr. Retirement, right here, is telling me he does not have time.
No. Oh no. You know that what I do when I'm retired, how busy I am. I never stop. I do more.
Hey, come on! I'm messing with you.
Guys do at 26. You know that. I'm always. You're always trying to get me to come into your house and fix your place up.
Hey, I need it. I need it.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway, with that,
because I'm never at home.
No.
I'm not giving up, all right, and neither is this team. But I got one more thing in my closing. I did watch the Havoc play. Wow, the Rivermen are pretty darn good. And we played really, really hard Friday night when I went and saw them, and they were really trying to put the biscuit in the basket. But man, I tell you, this Peoria team is the real deal.
The only thing that I will tell you on that front, there was one team playing with their full playoff roster. There was another team not playing with their full playoff roster. So think about that.
Well, that's good to know because they really did play well. So I'm just telling you everything that organization does. Listen, they were trying to win. I'm not saying they weren't trying to win. I'm just saying they're thinking about banners and not regular season wins. Okay. Well, the key is just getting in the playoffs.
And that's golden. That's set. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, we are going to be the 2 seed. We'd really have to fall on our face, and Roanoke could jump us. But I think we're going to be the 2 seed when it's all said and done. But big weekend this weekend with Birmingham coming in on Thursday, and then Evansville coming up on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so you're right, and that's it. And so the NHL, just get in the playoffs. Yep. You get a hot goalie, ride a hot goal, and I thought Robinson played really well Friday night.
He really did.
Yeah,
he really did.
He did. He looks really good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But gentlemen, I know that this is SEC country, but I'm still not giving up on my Wolverines. Okay, even though I don't have the stat.
I'm still looking for their free throw.
I got it.
Look at where I'm at in the rankings. I'm probably way up there. I'm a high percenter. When it comes to brackets,
I'm gonna let you know that I just found an interesting stat that the Big Ten has not won the national championship in basketball since 2000.
Jeez, is that Michigan State?
Yeah. That former Huntsville Flight player.
Yeah,
Mateen Cleaves.
Yes, Mateen Cleaves. I called some of those games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna hang up I'll hang up and listen to your show.
You're 150th, by the way. In the NCAA
good, right?
as a free throw percentage.
How many?
150th. 150
in free throws.
In team free throw percentage. You're right ahead of Arkansas State. And hang on, I need to page 4. I feel like this is Paul Harvey, and you're right behind.
Good day.
Santa Clara. Santa Clara is right behind you.
Okay. Well, what really doesn't matter is the brackets, and I believe I'm above you guys. So.
Page 2.
I don't think there's anybody below me, Dan. I'm just letting you know. I really.
Hey, I'm happy to be 68th.
Mississippi State and Kentucky. Those are the only 2 teams apparently that are above me or below me. Right
24,
now.
baby, but I ain't lasting long up there. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, this is all going to make it. It'll change drastically when we upset the Giant. I'm really going to move up.
Ooh. I like the confidence.
All I ask is that
you're in it. You're in.
Look, all I ask, because I've got the schedule pulled up. All I ask is that those teams are going to be playing on Friday.
Wow.
All I ask is that if it doesn't happen on Monday, you call in. That's all I ask.
Well, I'll call in either way. I mean, I love my team.
You going to Atlanta? Are you driving to Atlanta?
Who, me?
Yeah, Mr. Retirement.
No, I'm not going to Atlanta. I'm not doing that. I got too much. Hey, I got a lot going on around here, okay? So I got to, and trust me, retirement doesn't mean you sit on your arse. You move around.
Why don't you go to Atlanta then? No, I'm joking. Watching it on the TV is perfect. It's perfectly fun.
Yeah, I'm finding my living room, man.
The team that had the best free throw shooting percentage, Wisconsin. That didn't work out so well.
Okay. Wow, you're starting to sound like a real homer lately.
No, it's because you sound like a homer. Be like, the SEC versus the Big Ten.
I have to. I'm the only Michigan fan. I'm the only Michigan man in this freaking town. I gotta keep the fans
you're nowhere
going.
close. No, trust me. Half that team that you watched on Friday nights made up of Michigan fans.
This is true.
Catch you later.
Good stuff, man.
All right. Thank you, Dan. That was still walk.
I appreciate him. And I mean, and trust me, he is one of the few that does call in. But there are a lot of Michigan fans in this area.
The ending of the Maryland Colorado State game would either of you call the walk? Because I looked at it when it happened and said, walk, James Harden.
So the play in which Steve is discussing over here, is the one that it was late last night.
Yeah, it was. That's right.
Here's what that sounded like.
Gillespie looking to throw it in. Gets it up top to Queen. Dribbling left. Big
Walk.
down the lane.
Walk.
Runner for the win.
Walk. You walk.
Maryland is one.
You walk.
Maryland is going to the Sweet 16.
Right after he walk, he'll walk as well.
Left to the lane. Banked it in. And for the first time since 2016, the Maryland Terrapins are going to the Sweet 16.
All right. So once it was over with,
they can't review walk because that was a walk.
So Gene Steratore, which he is on everything.
Oh, he just talks official. I mean, he has the officials directory on how to talk officiating.
Yes, like if anything is going wrong right now, he basically is the guy that you go to.
And so listen to him explain why it wasn't a walk. Please.
Look, by rule, the dribble doesn't end until there's firm possession with one hand locked or more times than locked with two hands. So we've got to look to see when the dribble ends. Dairy Queen makes the turn around the loop. At that point, when he brings it back up, we don't know if that's fully possessed. If he bobbles that at that point, he could continue to bobble that basketball all the way to the hoop without a travel. So you've got to wait until you can define firm possession. Now the dribble has ended. As I said, most times and not, it's when both hands come together. You can see when Dairy Queen has both hands together, 1 foot hits, next foot, great shot, great ending. To me, it just really doesn't jump off the screen as anything big.
It's a walk. It's a firm possession.
Let me see.
Firm possession. What is
2, 3.
Firm possession. So one little obscure rule is you're allowed a jump stop in a step.
Yes.
So that would constitute 3 steps on, but the jump step has to happen simultaneously.
Yeah, that's where
that wasn't that gather. See, he's going there to protect the referee's butts.
Yeah.
And that was a walk.
Okay, so let's look at it the other way.
I hate it for Colorado State more than anything.
And
that and the fact that I picked Colorado State. How about that?
I get it, but I'm just curious as if they would have called a travel the other way, which way
would have been the proper call?
Which way would you have preferred this to go? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're in this moment, and what do we always say?
Well, March Madness is about those moments.
Well,
it is about those moments, but it's also
we haven't had those moments this tournament.
No, we haven't, because there is definite separation. Keep in mind that this is the last year of grown man basketball, that we are done with the COVID year after this year. I say that to also tell you with what Diego Pavia has done, grown man basketball may be coming back because D2 kids, D3 kids, JUCO kids are all going to have extra years of eligibility.
So what I'm saying is you look either way, you're going to make people upset with the direction it goes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would have much rather the play continue than it get taken away from us. I get it. I do.
Still walk.
256-576-977.
Blow the whistle.
Ray Dog, you're going to start us off when we come back here on the Thom Abraham Show on ESPN Winchester.
Can't call everything.
7 ESPN.
Guess you can't call everything, right?
You never want to make that call in that situation. Come on.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Alabama Crimson Tide headed to Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey for a Thursday matchup with BYU in the Sweet 16. Crimson Tide, the number 2 seed in the region, laying 4.5 against the Cougars. Duke and Arizona in the other East Region semifinal. Duke, the 9.5-point favorite. Auburn Tigers headed to Atlanta State Farm Arena for a South Region semifinal matchup. The Tigers, 7.5-point favorites over Michigan, 151.5 the total. Michigan State, 2.5-point favorites over Ole Miss in the other regional semifinal. Braves open up the season on Thursday, $1.20 favorite at San Diego. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to sit under a mostly clear sky for this Monday night. Temperatures going to be falling into the mid and upper 40s. Looking ahead into our Tuesday, plenty of sunshine, no rain in the forecast. High temperatures warming nicely into the low 70s for the afternoon, potentially seeing wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are your home for March Madness.
Sid Garcia, his 9th of the year, marches at 86 all time.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Name the movie this makes you think of.
Oh, no. I'm just thinking of Tom Abraham clearing his throat. I feel like it's part of this song now.
It is, by the way, for me, it is Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
This is the song that plays whenever they are driving to Boston.
That's right.
This is.
I'm thinking about. I don't know. That's
what was that?
The typical.
What?
Call us now, 256-576-4977 with your favorite Thom Abraham.
Wow.
That is the sound. That is the sound that I hear it. I'm just like, oh, that's my dad.
That's right there.
I can do it again if you want.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, go.
I don't even care about trying to mute my cough.
I don't know if it's
Compared to that.
I don't know if it's like if it's a mouth thing or if it's another type of thing. Like that sound. I know that sound.
So you were asking Dan, by the way, about what's the Big Ten's record in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I have it for you.
Okay. I have no idea what it is.
All right. So right now, if you want to break it down by conference,
It's got to be better than the ACC.
The SEC has 7 teams left. The Big 12 has 5. The Big 10 has 4 teams left, and the ACC has 1.
Yeah.
The ACC was and is at the moment 3-3 in the tournament.
Yeah.
The Big 10 is sitting in. Actually, their record at the moment, as far as percent-wise, is better than the SEC.
I would agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they had 8 teams in the tournament. They are 13-4 right now.
Well, as soon as Georgia got matched up with Gonzaga, I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming. I just didn't realize it was going to be 27-5 right out of the gate.
The Big 12 also had 8 teams in the tournament. They are 10-3 right now. And the SEC, who had 14 teams in the tournament, are 15-7 right now.
Yep.
So those are the records of the teams by conference going into the Sweet 16.
Did you say Big 12?
Big 12 is 10-3.
Yeah, I would assume Houston's going to carry the flag on that one.
Which is part of the thing that if Alabama wants to go to the Final Four, they're going to have to beat Houston.
Yeah, in the semis.
That's going to be it. I mean,
yep.
You're going to have to if they win against BYU, the next opponent is Houston. Like the next opponent is Houston.
No, I thought they'd play in the Final Four. They would play Duke, right?
Yeah, Duke. The winner of
the Duke Arizona.
Yes, that's
the winner, and then the Final Four potentially would be Houston versus Bama.
That's right. I had that backwards. I apologize because it's actually Tennessee and Kentucky. The winner of that will have to play Houston. So thank you for correcting me on that. So those are, and that's how the bracket at the moment is playing out when it comes to the SEC.
Are you aware that a new world record was broken over the weekend involving basketball? Because as I just mentioned, Georgia's got nothing on their plate right now, basketball wise. Well, a group of Georgia men set a new world record of playing basketball for 121 hours and 3 minutes. It was a total of 23 players aged from 17 to 64. What was the final score?
12-10.
121 hours of continuous play. It may all seem impossible, but not so for Bruce Deal and the members of his organization, MOST, Men Opposing Sex Trafficking. Players ranging in age from 17 to 64 spent days and nights here at Landmark Christian School, eating and sleeping on the sidelines so they can secure safety for others.
The final score was 13,096 to 12,972. 12,972.
I'd love to get a spread on the next one.
That's 121 hours and 3 minutes. Why did they stop at 3 minutes?
A dead leg?
Probably. Can you imagine being the 64-year-old guy? Because it goes 17 to 64.
Now, reason is because the last leg of that was actually supposed to be played by Georgia players, but they couldn't get him out of jail in time. And so, that's why the reason why that's the reason why they drove and they got caught speeding again over the weekend. Yeah. So that's the reason.
Well, the Lambo got stolen down in Miami, so
Yeah, what was he drove into like a house or something like that? What was the Georgia player? What did he do?
Golly. What do you get whenever you put an Auburn and a Georgia fan in the same room?
Look, trust me, I just wish anything with my football program would go fast, especially my quarterback. I wish he would have gotten out of the school
So
fast.
pay it off. Come on, pay it off.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're the Alabama
Roll
guy.
Tide.
That's like an SEC shorts bit right here.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I need some spring storylines, right?
I mean, trust me, at the moment we're all focusing on look, baseball in the actual opening day is this week.
Yeah.
And nobody is thinking about it right now because we're also focused on the Sweet 16. Opening day is happening. I want to say it's March 27th, if I remember. I believe that's Thursday.
Oh, I mean,
yeah. Braves and Padres open up on Thursday
that
as
nice
well.
little 9 p.m. first pitch that we're going to have.
Oh, no, no, it's a 3 o'clock first pitch.
What?
3:10 first pitch. Yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah.
You'll have to do Tom's show that day.
Probably so.
Because if it was at 1, you might have gotten away with it.
Yeah, no. It is. It's
pregame starts at 1:55.
Yeah. 155, 310. It's 310 first pitch is when it's actually going to be. Chris Sale on the mound.
Come on now.
Well, it's the same with SEC baseball. I mean, whenever it started, I was thinking that we would have a little bit more hype around it, but because it falls right around March Madness's beginning, I felt like everybody just kind of looked past it. And I personally think that's some of the best baseball to watch, at least in my opinion.
I hate the fact that so much was going on this past weekend. I saw a little bit of who was playing at Missouri this weekend. The SEC network had it on. Gosh, I can't remember.
Whoever it was, they probably won because Missouri is.
Yeah.
Oof.
But Alabama, Tennessee, that was big matchup, obviously. And I'm excited to see how these teams shake out.
Yeah. I agree.
And by the way, we will once again, for those of you in ESPN Winchester, I would assume, I think Joe's got the contract for the SEC network up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I carry every game of the SEC baseball tournament. It is a little bit of a dead period, but it's the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is just enjoy the Hoover experience more than anything. No. And I've grown to really just enjoy listening to the fine folks at the SEC network because they have a lot of fun with it down there in Hoover.
Yeah. Kentucky and Auburn faced off against each other, and I think actually Kentucky might have they challenged them quite a bit, and that's an unranked Kentucky team. Texas
they did really well last year.
Yeah, Texas A&M versus Vanderbilt, which Texas A&M is not the same team that we knew.
Oh, well,
just
there's a reason
2 years
for that.
ago.
That's because their coach is now wearing burnt orange.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, he's wearing burnt orange. That's the reason why it's not the same.
Arkansas still rocking and rolling. They had a pretty big.
Georgia's 5-1, Arkansas's 5-1, Tennessee's 5-1.
They're all tied for first place.
Texas is 5-1, Alabama's 4-2, LSU 4-2. Oklahoma, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Kentucky. Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Oklahoma, LSU, and Alabama are all at 4-2. Then you're below 500 teams right out of the gate. Kentucky is 2-4. South Carolina is 1-5.
It's not the worst.
Well, I realize
that's
that.
going to happen when the pitcher gets.
I just think about Ray Tanner and what he built anyway.
Look,
Mississippi State's at 1-5. Then your winless teams are Florida, Texas A&M, and Missouri. Those are all 0-6 teams.
Look, if you're curious as to how bad the season's going for South Carolina right now, one of their pitchers that was scheduled to start over the weekend got scratched because the previous day he was warming up in the bullpen and got hit by a home run ball during batting practice and got put into concussion protocol.
That's next level.
Dylan Eskew.
That's next level.
Is in concussion protocol. So instead, he had Jarvis Evans Jr. start in his place.
That's next level.
You're sitting there just getting a light bullpen session in before the game.
That's next level.
And you get hit by a home run ball by one of your teammates. That's South Carolina season.
I had someone at Charger Park almost took one off the head as well. I mean, it was inches.
Almost had Brock Butler take out a few people with one of his home runs.
Hey, Jason, stick around for us. It is the Thom Abraham Show. One of these days, Thom Abraham will actually host The Thom Abraham Show.
Tomorrow? Anybody?
By the way, just letting you guys know, Hanshin Tigers and Hiroshima Carp also play on Thursday, 4 a.m.
Nice.
Opening day in Japan. So you know, we're going to talk about it.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing.
Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. There are no mid-major teams in the Sweet 16 this year. 15 teams from just 3 conferences, the Big 10, Big 12, and the SEC, with a record 7 teams left. The only other conference represented, the ACC, with Duke. ESPN has learned the Texas Longhorns could be closing in on a deal with Sean Miller to be the team's next head coach. Miller would leave Xavier, who knocked Texas out of the tournament in the first 4. In the women's tournament, number 1 overall seed UCLA goes to the Sweet 16 with an 84-67 win over Richmond. Lauren Betts, 30 points and 14 boards, the first 30-10 game of her career. More second-round coverage starts at noon Eastern today on the ESPN family of networks.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. March Madness is here, and it's time to hoop it up at Baumhauer's Victory Grill with our Slam Dunk specials. It's nothing but net with a pound of our world-famous wings. Tip it off with our party-ready trays, including traditional wings, buttermilk fried chicken tenders, and hot lips, to name a few. Want a cold beer with those wings? How about $7.99 pitchers of Yingling served all day, 7 days a week? Break out those brackets and bring the gang to the best watch party place in town, Baumhauer's Victory Grill, the true king of wings.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho. Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elmer Pearson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? And somebody responds. Get off my.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
I think that's what Kirk Cousins is saying right now on that television screen right behind you, Steve.
Get paid.
256-576.
Did he say four?
No, he did just now.
977. It
Four.
doesn't matter if you're on ESPN Winchester or if you're on 97.7 ESPN The Zone or if you're watching on WZZN TV. You can get in on the show today where Kirk Cousins is said that he is going to wait until after the NFL draft to decide if he is going to waive his no trade clause or not. You know, and you can see why this is, right? He does not want to be a part of a dumb trade in the middle of the draft. And he does not want to have to go to like the Jets. That's what he's wanting. He's not like, no, I'm not being a part of this. I'm going to see where all the dice fall and where everybody lands, and then I will decide if I want to get traded or not. Is Kirk Cousins on the Atlanta Falcons roster during and when they get to training camp?
As a lifelong Falcon fan, probably. All right.
He would know.
As a lifelong Falcon fan, yeah, probably. At least to start the season, yeah, probably.
4 games in, then something happens.
So that I'll tell you, I'm going to try to bring this up on my phone so you can see it. One of the this is the NFL offseason.
Yes.
So there was someone had some fun with putting up the football helmets. Yeah, everything gets flashed right in front of you, and your screenshot. That's how you do it on certainly not on an Apple phone.
God, no,
but
an Apple phone.
Here it is. Here it is. So this is my life, ladies and gentlemen, where you can pick anybody of the 32 teams. What's my Super Bowl matchup? I don't know if you can see it there on the screen. It says, hey, you going to zoom into it?
Is that the Patriots?
It's the Patriots and the Falcons. And I said, I've seen that. I've seen that and I've experienced it. I don't want to see that again. That is.
At least you get the Falcons. I wouldn't even get the Browns.
Think how many Super Bowls. Let's look. If you go back through history, think about how many Super Bowls have had a team go up against a Hall of Famer. Like, I mean, really.
The Falcons in particular against Elway.
Yeah, John Elway and Tom Brady.
And then Tom Brady. That's exactly why I'm going there. Because I'll still never forget getting that phone call from my boss. I was in Miami night before the Super Bowl. It's like 2 a.m. Steve, wake up. Steve, wake up. That's how he talks. Steve, wake up. Steve, wake up.
Scott Farrell.
A little bit. Steve, wake up. Steve, wake up. What? You're going to have to go down to the police station. Why? Eugene Robinson.
What was he doing?
Filming a movie.
Based on that.
Potentially filming a movie,
John,
I
did
guess.
you have to get out of jail this weekend?
No.
All right. Let's see about Jason. Jason, what about you?
Robinson.
Jason, how was your weekend, bro?
Oh, it was great. Got to eat a bunch of seafood. Went to the Alabama-Tennessee baseball series.
Nice. Nice.
Nice weekend.
That's a solid weekend right there.
Yeah. Hey, this perturbs me about the state of, it involves Alabama and Auburn, their baseball program.
Okay.
How many scholarships do they give out?
It's a little over 11 right now.
But that's going up.
It's supposed to go up to 24 if the NCAA approves everything.
We're sneaking up on that. I think the ruling is coming up in want to say around April 7th.
Yeah, right now it is a little
That's
over
2 weeks away.
11.1 or something like that is the amount of scholarships.
11.7.
11.7. That's it.
Does the SEC network not give both Alabama and Auburn like $48 million a year, and why can't they use that on baseball scholarships?
Well, it also has to do with the way the state of Alabama does things, which is, I know this is going to be a shock to you, but backwards. Because all the other states in the SEC have something set up for that. If a baseball player was to go to your university, that it is allowed for whatever your scholarship doesn't cover for you to actually be able to get in-state tuition.
Wow.
Which is again, Steve, you and I talked about this beforehand.
Yeah.
Like in-state tuition's a lot cheaper than going in without a state tuition.
I can vouch for that.
The state of Alabama, doesn't do that. So it is harder to get players outside the state of Alabama to come in, even with a possible partial scholarship, because they still have to pay the out-of-state tuition, which is just astronomical. So that's the reason why Alabama and Auburn, it is amazing that these teams ever win in baseball. And it is even more amazing that these teams have made it to the College World Series with the way that they are playing behind the 8 ball compared to all the other SEC teams.
Yeah, I would love to see 8 scholarships in the infield and 5 in the outfield, have 10 scholarship pitchers.
No, I think I'd want your shortstop to be a scholarship guy, your catcher to be a scholarship guy, your center fielder to be a scholarship guy. Then the rest are arms. I want the rest in my bullpen or the starting pitching.
Yeah, and they can break this up however they want to. They can either give you, like, I remember a scholarship offer that I got was just for books, or a scholarship offer that I got for was just for.
When you hear someone say a point, I mean, keep in mind, just because you are a scholarship athlete doesn't mean, you're getting a free ride. Everything's covered.
No.
There's a reason they have points.
Yeah.
And even 1/10 of a point is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Look, they have to spread out a scholarship amongst 24 some odd players.
Yeah.
And again, you have to be like Casey Mize to get a full ride type. Like, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. First pick of the draft.
Exactly.
I mean, I have watched teams win the College World Series, and you see some of their players. Huntsville, Alabama.
Yep.
I mean, could you imagine Alabama, Auburn get one? Some of those ball players.
Well, that's the reason why you see like some players like the kid from Harvest that was pitching for Tennessee last year. It's because he could have been given a partial scholarship.
Aren't a couple of those players on the trash panda this year?
Oh, well, there's one that is supposed to be in Christian Moore, but I don't know if he's actually going to be there.
I think there's 2 now.
Yeah, but he is. But that's what I'm saying in that is that whenever they get the scholarship, they can then turn around and the school says, okay, well, now you only have to pay X, which is what the in-state tuition fee is, which is like 2 and 3 times cheaper than what the out-of-state tuition fee is.
Yeah, they've got that all backwards.
Well, it's the state of Alabama. What do you expect? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at. I mean, the other states are. They're using their lottery, which I have nothing wrong with if you either play it or you don't. But there's some parking places on these football Saturdays and use it for scholarships. Just anything to raise some money other than the way they're doing it.
Well, and they're not going to make NIL money the same way that football would or that basketball would or anything. I mean, because again, you're talking about a baseball player who, for the most part, goes unknown until maybe April. That's when you start to maybe really get to know some of these baseball players and stuff. And so so they're not even, I'm sure they're going to make something off NIL. I mean, look, UAH has players that make stuff off NIL. They have stuff like, even obviously they're not making 10 and 3 and 4, like 4 or 5 figures on their sort of NIL deals. But as part of like the UAH and what they're able to do now, they have it set up where you can buy T-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts and all that with players' names on the back. And that goes towards them NIL wise. And so you're seeing a lot more of that, like at UAH. So you saw it during basketball. You're seeing it more during, baseball and softball games. You can tell who the parents are because they're wearing sweatshirts with their kids' names on the back. But
they're not going to make anywhere close to it with NIL wise. No, they're just not, because baseball isn't as marketable as what football and basketball are.
Yeah, I mean, like the Thursday, Friday games had good crowds at them, and Saturdays was a sellout. So there's the month. If you're winning, people will show up and they would make money, but like I said, not giving out scholarships, you can't compete with the Tennessee.
Yeah, no, and look, all the teams have to deal with the 11.7 scholarships right now, and things may be different if we get to 24 scholarships, it could be different. But right now, the state of Alabama cannot compete with the other schools and everything. So if you see this Alabama and Auburn team in the top 10, the top 15, the way that they are right now, just know that, think about how much better this program could be if they were playing on an equal plane.
It could be what is Texas? They have a lottery. Yeah. So, yeah, they could be at the Texas level. Texas has got a good baseball team.
And by the way, the lottery part of this is also part that plays into the reason why these schools are offering your in-state tuition to out-of-state players. It's because they also get money from the lottery, which obviously, again, going back to how this state is backwards, that plays into it as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man.
Thank you,
we
Jason.
appreciate it. But, and that's where that honestly is something that baseball has had to deal with for decades on decades. And it just doesn't get talked about as much. And it also isn't as big of a deal. Hasn't been as big of a deal until recently, when we started knowing about these states that were starting to allow lotteries and gambling and all this other stuff.
But we have morals.
Well, yeah, Meemaw.
Yeah, we
and
have
all the churches that just want to bust people in to vote against it.
We got sinkholes all over the place. We got morals.
I mean, driving down Birmingham, not only do you have to deal with gunfire, it sounds like gunfire while you're driving down the road. I mean, but hey,
we have morals.
Meemaw, good job. Forgot about her. Good job. 256-576-4977. John zoned out.
Yeah, he's out.
He's been shooting.
Yeah, he's out. He's just playing basketball over there.
Yeah.
I took off my shoes. I'm chilling.
Wow.
What in heaven's name?
I'm glad we're in this new studio that has a door and it's closed right now.
Don't worry, my dogs aren't out. I still got my socks on.
Got my socks on.
We'll be back. Thom Abraham Show.
Robert Portnoy is scheduled to join us, the voice of the Lobos, as they have just landed. Yeah.
The Lobos have landed.
The Lobos have landed. Get a thought or two from the former voice of the Huntsville Stars. How about that? And Robert Portnoy, as they played last night, taking on Michigan State.
And we are 2 hours and 15 minutes away from Cam Ward throwing down in Miami during his pro day. Everybody's there. Everybody.
Peyton Thorne there?
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Alabama Crimson Tide headed to Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey for a Thursday matchup with BYU in the Sweet 16. Crimson Tide, the number 2 seed in the region, laying 4.5 against the Cougars. Duke and Arizona in the other East Region semifinal. Duke, the 9.5-point favorite. Auburn Tigers headed to Atlanta State Farm Arena for a South Region semifinal matchup. The Tigers, 7.5-point favorites over Michigan, 151.5 the total. Michigan State, 2.5-point favorites over Ole Miss in the other regional semifinal. Braves open up the season on Thursday, $1.20 favorite at San Diego. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, You can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, Savings Never Tasted So Good. Click on that, then enter in the big zone deal store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Cecil, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Clouds will gradually decrease heading into the afternoon, leaving us with mostly sunshine. High temperatures expected to warm into the upper 60s for the day. Heading into Monday night, temperatures expected to fall into the mid and upper 40s for the overnight. We'll continue to sit under a mostly clear sky. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Some things I just want to be true. I just want this to be true. And no, it's not true, but I just want it to be true because I actually just looked it up.
Yeah.
First off, Thom Abraham Show.
Yeah. What's up, ESPN Winchester?
He's here sometimes.
Yeah.
256-576-977.
Yeah, shoeless back there.
Yeah. Shoeless John Abraham.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you guys all the content.
Me. When I can actually talk and I'm not.
What do you
like
want
crazy.
to be true, Joe Hunk?
So I found this. There was this tweet that supposedly went out that was that's going around Instagram right now, and it
What,
says,
is it a parody account?
It's supposed to be Adam Schefter. Like it even has like the Adam Schefter, like the real Adam Schefter stuff. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But all it says is Rogers' team decision is projected to be delayed 7 to 8 weeks as he digs through and processes the JFK files. If the CIA theory is confirmed, he'll go Vikings. If it was a mob hit, he'll go Steelers. If Fidel Castro is involved, he'll go Giants. I really, really wish that was true.
I never know what to believe on Twitter.
None of that says Titans.
No, no, trust me, I'm glad. That is so incredibly like something I wish that Aaron Rodgers
wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers and a
Screw
Titan.
Aaron Rodgers. No, I do not want him anywhere close.
So
to
I
that
posed that question the other day as Drew DeArmond was walking out of right now, given everything you know, right now, you want Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback or Jalen Milroe? And he looks at me and says, is that a real question?
I actually remember you asking him this question, and what did I say?
What did you say?
I said, let's go Wildcat. Just screw having a quarterback for the entire year. Let's go Wildcat. If those are my two options, I am going Wildcat.
You don't want a former MVP of the National Football League to lead your team.
No, because man,
there is some ayahuasca involved.
That man is stage 4 cancer. Like that man right there will literally kill your lineup the moment that he walks into
Robert
the locker
Saleh
room.
might agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. What does he do? He literally leaves the Jets, which is just an absolute cluster. It goes back to San Francisco, a team that played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. and he's now their defensive coordinator again. 256-576-977. Grumpy, welcome into the Thom Abraham Show, man. How's it going?
Hey, man, we're kind of in the off season of football, so here's a weird question. You guys were talking about out-of-state tuition as it affects scholarships.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you could like go to a school, pay the out-of-state, get your driver's license in that state.
That's right.
And then the second year, you weren't out of state.
That's right.
Is that true? Is that true with scholarships?
I don't know about that, but I know a little something about paying out of state tuition.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see why that wouldn't be the case, because once you get your driver's license in said state, I mean, that does make you a resident. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I just thought about it when you guys were talking about how it affects baseball. So I guess they got 2 bags on first base this year, huh?
Yeah, only one of them counts, though, apparently.
All right.
Oh, so the safety bag doesn't count?
No, safety bag doesn't count. That actually happened over the weekend where somebody threw back to first base and the runner stepped on the safety bag instead of the white bag. And he got called out because the safety bag is only usable when you run to first base from home plate.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Get it.
All right, thank you for that. No, I don't know if that's the case because honestly, when I was playing, I want to say all of our players were from Alabama. We may have had 1 or 2 that was from out of state, quote unquote, Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. And I think that,
and I know there's a few counties in Tennessee where you can get.
Absolutely. And so it does play into it. And again, like UAH is different because it's a different school as far as it's concerned. Now, if you can get, that's the reason why like a place like Vandy, and they don't lower their academic standards and all this other stuff, that actually plays into their favor when it comes to baseball, because if they can find a player that has the academic standards, they may also be eligible for other scholarships, which would then help them when it comes to actually playing at Vanderbilt, because they might also qualify for other scholarships that way. And so they would go, oh, well, I don't need a full scholarship. Just give me a partial one because I have this academic scholarship that I'm going with. That's one thing that can benefit a team like a Vandy with the 11.7 scholarships and that sort of way. So yeah, no, it is something that obviously the state of Alabama is well behind on, and playing into it is the lottery and gambling and all that other stuff as well into this that obviously Meemaw and any other state official has said no to.
If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so. And if you haven't, you need to download our app as well. ESPN Winchester has a fine app as well. Be sure and check that out. 977 ESPN and your Apple Store only. Just in your Apple Store.
Apple Store.
But for those of you that might have an Android like me,
the green text people,
you can go to your, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to, it's a Google Play Store right there, and just search 977 ESPN right there and just download it.
Just a few moments ago, I want to say somebody from NFL Network, I'm not sure who this was that said it, mainly because I can't say his name, said that the Titans actually had dinner with Cam Ward last night.
Of course,
and that the growing belief amongst the teams is that he is going to be selected number 1 overall by Tennessee. I'll take him over Aaron Rodgers. Right now, I would take him over. Or
is Travis Hunter the most secure pick?
Yes,
of this draft,
absolutely. Because you're getting a starter. Then you're still getting a starter in one or two positions.
To me, that's the no-brainer.
See, and I'm an Abdul Carter guy.
Are you?
I would much rather have him. I mean, I would take him because, like, with me in this, I'm looking at, you have 22 positions. You're wanting to get a surefire starter in the top 5. Like, most likely anybody in the top 32, you're going to want them to be a surefire starter. Abdul Carter fits a couple of bills, mainly because you're allowing Harold Landry to look for trade opportunities and all this other stuff. And if you are add somebody like an Abdul Carter, you're getting them for cheaper than what you have Harold Landry. You're getting an edge rusher as well as getting an outside linebacker that can go on. He can put a hand in the dirt, or he can stand on both 2 feet as far as the linebacking core is concerned. He can go into pass coverage a little bit when it comes to your tight ends and that sort of thing. And so you're getting a guy that you know is going to be on the field week 1 against whoever you're going to be playing. Travis Hunter is somebody that's going to be on the field in 1 and or 2 and or 3 positions. So you could use him in a various amount of ways as far as a team is concerned. You know you're getting a starting cornerback. Depending on if he would want to try it, which I'm assuming he would, you get a guy that could be very dynamic in the new kick return game. Then if you also want to use him in packages on the offensive side of this, there is your other one. So you could have one guy filling 3 different spots. He could be your number 3 and or number 4 wide receiver on an offense.
So the Titans
starting quarterback and maybe be one of your returners.
The Titans have the first overall pick. We obviously all know that. Their next pick is the 35th pick in the second round. They've already traded their 3rd round pick. They have 2 4th round picks, 2 5th round picks, 1 6th round pick, and 1 7th round pick. And now, of course, the further you go down, the more value you can get. But that 3rd round, not having a 3rd round pick, I think the idea of trading back a little bit would be something to entertain.
I want to say they didn't have a 3rd round pick last year, if I remember that correctly. And because
you would know.
Well, no, that's the reason why I'm saying is because I remember when we were doing Titans Radio that we were doing the show, but we all said, hey, we're going to.
Yeah, it was traded to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, that was okay. So they didn't have the 3rd round pick last year.
And when J.C. Latham and then Trevon Sweat and then a trade to the Cardinals. Yes. There in the 3rd round.
So
you're correct.
And so that's the reason why is because we knew that the Titans were going to do anything the rest of the night on Friday night. So all we did was we really just planned on a show that was going to go through probably the beginning of the 3rd round. And we're like, all right, we're good. So this is kind of what they did last year with this. I would love for them to drop back 2 spots. I think the Patriots are 4th, Giants are 3rd, if I want to say that.
Giants are 3rd, Patriots are 4th.
Yes.
And Jacksonville is 5th. That's not going to happen because that's a divisional opponent. They're not going to play ball with you.
No.
Raiders are 6th. Jets are 7th. The Jets are 7th. The Panthers are 8th. Saints are 9th. The Bears round out the top 10. Then it's the Niners, Cowboys, Dolphins, Colts. Then the Falcons check in with the 15th overall pick.
I would be very happy if they dropped back to the 3rd and they either got who was available between Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward. Because one of those 3 are going to be available. Like you just don't know which one. So I'd be very happy with 3 of those. Now the Cam Ward one, I understand because the conversation is more about him being able to make the throws.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yep.
And if he is not ready, and Malik Willis is a Packer now. And we also have Will Levis. If Will wants to show up, okay. Then have Levis go while Cam Ward learns the offense, and Levis is going to be in his last season, I believe. So, but you don't get rid of Levis in this, and you bring Cam Ward in, and whoever wins the competition, and they're first in there. But when you have the players that you're kind of building around this offense that Brian Callahan is trying to build offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Problem is it's not as big of a problem as it was possibly 2 weeks ago, because I think they've done really good when it does come to their offensive line depth and the fact that they have signed some offensive line pieces that could be very, very good. That would really help them solidify that where Will Levis isn't running for his life. And we may be able to see the real Will Levis. We may be able to see the real Cam Ward.
Of course, the NFL draft is a month from today. It begins a month from today up in Green Bay. We're right in the thick of the men's basketball tournament that concludes in San Antonio. You'll be able to hear the Final Four right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I tell you, it was a lot of fun listening to a lot of college basketball from over the weekend. The SEC was 7 of the Sweet 16. That is another record set by the Southeastern Conference. But really, this tournament in particular is made for upsets. And I was really rooting for a hard one last night. And it was a back and forth deal between Michigan State and New Mexico.
Yes. And I am kind of under the belief in the tournament as we're looking at it that there are some games that if team X wins against in a Sweet 16 game, that you can already pencil somebody in the Final Four.
Yeah.
I genuinely am that way. Like, I am under the belief, and I will say this, that if somehow, I know we love upsets, but if Ole Miss upsets Michigan State, just go ahead and get your tickets if you're an Auburn fan for San Antonio.
Yeah.
They have destroyed Ole Miss.
That is the other side of the bracket. Is Auburn takes on Michigan coming up. That's in Atlanta, and then Ole Miss takes on Michigan State as they down New Mexico. And the broadcaster for the Lobos is kind enough to join us. In fact, he was the where is it? He was the 2004 Southern League Broadcaster of the Year for the Huntsville Stars. Robert Portnoy, how are you today, sir?
Oh my gosh, has it really been 21 years?
How about that?
Holy smokes.
How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Wow.
Tell me about your Cleveland experience, voice of the Lobos.
Cleveland rocks, man. Yeah, it was awesome. It felt like an entire week. It kind of close to was an entire week, and that's exactly the way you want it. 7 minutes and 39 seconds to go on a Sunday late night, and you're tied at 51. Had come back to get even, and you think, oh my gosh, this might be the day, the first modern era Sweet 16 for New Mexico Lobo basketball, but it wasn't meant to be. It kind of felt like the last half of that second half, Steve, that New Mexico wasn't just fighting the 5 Spartans on the court. They were kind of fighting a pro Michigan State crowd because it was so, 3.5 hour ride from East Lansing to Cleveland. They had the crowd advantage. And then the thing that stands out most from our perspective, Steve, and I don't know if you would agree with this or not, but it also felt like that the officiating was definitely something that New Mexico had to overcome in that game. And, reputation matters. Coach Izzo's teams have always been known as being very tough and physical. And the reality is that New Mexico got called for 22 fouls and Michigan State only got called for 11.
So there's that.
Uphill battle that you have. So,
and it made that last 10 minutes even more impressive, honestly, of what you guys and your length. I did not realize how it just the size that Coach Pitino has there. That was I was really impressed. How many of those guys are coming back? And I know that's kind of a loaded question in the NIL here.
No, and you've hit the nail on the proverbial head, Moulton, because the length is leaving. Nelly Jr. Joseph, the 5th-year post, who was first-team all-conference, first-team all-defense, and the best big in our part of the country, he's exhausted his eligibility. Mustafa Amsil, 5th-year 4-man, who scored 12 in the first half and looked completely unstoppable. They changed up their coverage in the second half. They went away from their 3 almost interchangeable 5 men that they have that they use. They almost play like 2 bigs together most of the time, Michigan State, and they actually went smaller at the 4 position because Mustafa Amsil was just absolutely schooling whoever guarded him in the first half. He's exhausted his eligibility. And then when Nelly got into foul trouble and you saw Tiki Aliatiki come in, he also has exhausted his eligibility. So the Lobos have to re-recruit a brand new front court. And that's okay. I mean, if New Mexico can keep its core backcourt, and I'm talking about Donovan Dent and True Washington, if those 2 guys are the starting 1 and 2 again next year, that's a heck of a starting point for a team that they've been a part of now for 2 years in a row that's been to the big dance.
Tell me about the win. Tell me about the environment after the Marquette game. Go back to round one for me.
Well, that's one of the biggest moments for Lobo basketball in the better part of a decade, Steve. They had not won a tournament game, an NCAA tournament game, since 2012, which was the next to last season of the 6-run Alford era.
Yeah.
And the fan base has been waiting a long time, 13 years. And the really amazing thing, it was off the chain. Like the locker room afterward, you could see it, you could feel it. The hotel when they got back, the number of Lobo fans that made their way to Cleveland in between the two games and the send off that they got from the team hotel in downtown Cleveland on the way to Rocket Arena yesterday was amazing. Lobo Nation travels, unlike many that you will find. It is not just 15, 4, 11 in the pit, and they do that. That place rocks. It's legendary. But they took over Vegas each of the last 2 years, and it's just what they do. I'm talking about the Mountain West tournament, and they were there. They were there in force in Cleveland.
Well, I'm sure you got a Chris Stewart story because Alabama was right there in Cleveland as well. So you get to interact there with the voice of the Tide there in Cleveland at all?
We shared, we and the Bama broadcast shared a pirated effects feed from the CBS people.
Of course you did.
Cool.
Of course you did.
They were terrific, and that's all the Bama people. That's all Chris and his crew. Like they had a chord already set up, and we made nice, and then they basically just left it there for us. And so no, it's really cool. It's a big family, man. It really is.
Yeah,
it's a big family. Like I met the Michigan State folks as soon as we got there almost, and they've got a kid who's literally just out of college who had been doing some stuff as a student for them, and they hired him as like a pre and a halftime and a post and an engineer kind of thing, and he was all wide-eyed and so excited to be there. And it's an amazing experience. It really is. You can't take that for granted. That's only my third NCAA tournament in 12 years. And not that they couldn't go on another run like they had. There have been some great runs in Lobo history, and maybe this is the start of one. But the first thing in retention is keeping the coach, right? There's a lot of stuff out there about Coach Pitino heading to Villanova. So if they throw $3.5 or $4 million at him, it's going to be hard to keep him.
Everybody was focused on Papa in the house yesterday. How visible was that to you?
He's right behind us. Yeah, we could hear the Lobo fans right behind us the entire night. It's just amazing. It really is. And that's pretty cool, right? I mean, to have that support. That proud granddad sitting in the stands with his grandkids watching his son coach his team. I know he'd have rather been, getting ready to move on to the Sweet 16 himself, but awesome to have him there.
The fact that you get to call games at the pit, I'm a lot jealous. There's places that I've always wanted to go. Fog Allen is obviously one of them, but the pit is right there. You are so lucky to have that experience night after night. I'm telling you, it is and I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you right now, Robert, but if you ever need a fill in, let me know. That would be that is definitely on my bucket list to do something from the pit.
There's nothing like it, Steve. There's really nothing like it. Another sort of box that Coach Pitino, Richard Pitino, I'm talking about now, the son, the Lobo head coach, that he's checked since he got here, was letting the fans enjoy New Mexico cutting down the nets in its historic building. That had not happened since 2013. And the Lobos got to do that this year. They'd already secured a share of the Mountain West Championship. Their last outright title was in the 12-13 season. And they got the chance, after beating UNLV in their building, to finish 17-3 in league this year. to have solo first place in the conference, and it was the most amazing thing ever. I give props to the Lobo marketing people and everybody that they brought the confetti cannons out, and the net cutting was one of the neatest things, and everybody stayed. I mean, the place was absolutely on fire. And you're right, it is. We pitch ourselves every single day that we get to do games in that building.
So Joe Hunk, he's here with me in the studio.
Yes.
Did you notice how Robert answered that question? Well, I guess it really wasn't I did ask a question on whether or not I could fill in. It was, no, this is great. This is wonderful. Sorry, Steve. That is never, ever, ever, ever going to happen.
It kind of went off as I'll think about it if I actually decide to actually take the game off.
And every play-by-play guy is like that. And I'm like this too.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, you covet your position, and you should. I mean, but anyway, it's so what, you got baseball season coming up here?
Oh, you could have my chair for a game. If I could do that for you, if I could give that to you, that would be the greatest gift I could give.
See, this is the invite after the uninvite right here, right? I mean, is this
Sure.
No, we shared a booth here in Huntsville, and I really enjoyed my time with you here in Huntsville. And happy for your success, brother.
Oh man, we had fun, didn't we? And yeah.
How about that team? I can remember Milwaukee wanting to tune in to your broadcast because of how many guys were on that team back in the early aughts.
Oh, there were two of them, Steve. They're back to back. The Stars got a triumvirate the first year I was there of Corey Hart, All-Star, J.J. Hardy, All-Star, Dave Krenzel, best athlete of the three, who destroyed his career riding a street bike. He actually raced street bikes in the offseason and messed up his leg, and that was it. But the next year it was Prince Fielder, Ricky Weeks, and Tony Gwynn Jr. I mean, we could not have been luckier. That was 2003, 2004. Amazing the prospects that came through Joe Davis.
I just remember the folks in Milwaukee wanted to tune into your broadcast because of, one, how bad the Brewers were at that time, and two, they wanted to wet their whistle to see what's coming up. So since I kind of went there, kind of a back way to do it, Euchre passing in January. I mean, you have to have a Euchre story. You have to have at least one Euchre story. Did you ever meet Bob?
No, I wish I had. Steve. I never got a chance to meet him, but the opportunity affords itself at least once a season when a guy lets one go and it sails to the backstop just a bit outside. It drops in every single year. No, he's a legend. Goodness gracious, he is a legend.
Absolutely. Well, I know baseball is kind of ingrained in you. So automatic strike zone, have you taken any of the spring training for the automatic strike zone?
So I got to see a couple of the early the early challenges, and you got to have it. Like you got to have it. Like we're beyond, in my opinion, we're beyond the point of ignoring the fact that the technology is there, available to make sure that we get it right. Why wouldn't baseball take that next step? It just makes sense to me.
I spent a lot of time with the Nashville Sounds last year, and I saw that this system, because in AAA they would go, all right, well, tonight we're doing this system, and tonight we're doing that system, and the challenge rule where you would, the automatic strike zone, all that stuff where the umpire has to wait for it to be told, like it goes fairly quickly. But the challenge method, I mean, that's instantaneous. Like it barely even affects the next pitch. Like it is so quick to say. I mean, there have been times where all you got to do is just nod at the umpire. The umpire.
I can think of several umpires that need the automated strike zone just on what I've seen over the last 3 years.
You need it in the bag too.
Oh my God. I think it's perfect. And I'll tell you what, when I was sold. I saw the clip of the very first challenge of the very first, missed pitch in the very first spring training game and how it played out. And I'm like, done. That's awesome. Why aren't we doing that now? Let's institute it opening day. Like, that's how quickly I was on board.
Yes.
So
no, it does. It changes the game in a better way, and it is so quick that by the time the batter looks down for the signal, he already knows what the decision is. It's not like let's stand around for 10 minutes.
Well, finally, Robert, and I appreciate the time, especially after a flight. I'd be also on board for going to the Cool Springs Trampoline Park. I mean, come on now. I mean, we're talking to the owner of the Cool Springs Trampoline Park right here.
Are you interested in zone deals? $50 worth of gift certificates for just $25.
Come on now. The Cool Springs Trampoline Park.
I take no credit for that. I am a voice and a pretty face, if that. That is all my wife, Tammy Portnoy. I'm literally a partner. She's the owner-operator, and she makes it go. But that's really cool of you to bring that up. And you absolutely can come and hang with me courtside anytime, Steve. Anytime.
I appreciate that offer. Hey, March wins are pretty special. But the run that you went on, you'll remember this forever. But I always appreciate the time you give us. Thank you, sir.
You are the best, Multi. You really are. You have been like, if I could say something to your listeners in terms of a guy who makes it a point of maintaining friendships with people that he hasn't seen over the years and is very purposeful and intentional and genuine in the way that you reach out consistently. You're the best, buddy. Keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship as well. Thank you, sir.
Likewise.
That is Robert Portnoy, the voice of the Lobos. He's on X at Rob Talks Lobos. He is so sharp too. He initially went to Albuquerque with the Isotopes and has been the voice for some time for New Mexico.
Can you guess how many players from that 2014 or that 2014 ended up playing in the major leagues? I'll have that answer when we come back. Is Thom Abraham's show. Joe Hunk, Steve Moulton, John Abraham. Oh, we're all just
shoeless.
John Abraham.
Shoeless.
256-576-977 as we continue. ESPN Winchester, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCZN TV.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three,
hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, top shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life?
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Lotto on the move, pitch on the way. This is stroked high in the air, deep right center field. Here comes some smoke. Wow! 2-0.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Yeah.
And what's great is we know he's not listening.
Yes.
He might be in the listening area now.
He called me from Texas this morning. All right?
He might use the app. By the way, you should download the app, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Where can we find the app?
On Apple and Android devices.
Yeah, so blue dot, green dot, doesn't matter what it is. We got you.
ESPN Winchester also has an app as well.
They do, and you can get it at the exact
home
same
of
location.
the Vols up there.
Yeah, and they also were covering the SEC tournament.
Nice,
so
nice.
They had every
I
single
got a
game
big
for you.
one, Vols in Kentucky, part 3.
So to kind of show you what the odds are right now and what people think is going to happen between Tennessee and Kentucky, FanDuel just dropped the odds for who they believe is going to win the national championship. They pay in the top 6 teams. They just put that out. Who would you like to guess is number 1 as far as the odds?
I'll say Auburn.
Auburn is third at plus 550.
I'm going to say Duke.
No, Florida.
Duke is number 1 at plus 220.
People are hot on that Duke team.
Florida is second at plus
I've got Duke losing to Arizona next.
I don't know losing to Bama, actually. Which I thought they'd played more recently than what they have, but apparently they haven't played in a decade.
Arizona's it's kind of like it's similar to Alabama late in the season where you don't know what team you're going to get.
So your odds on favorite is Duke,
and followed by Florida, then Auburn. There's 3 more teams.
Where's Houston?
Houston is tied with Auburn at plus 550.
Okay, all right. Now I'm sifting through the 2 seeds. Certainly not St. John's.
No. That's a big miss, just like them last night.
Where's Alabama?
Alabama is next at plus 1,600.
As they should.
Tied with Tennessee at plus 1,600.
That's what I was thinking.
So,
and then Kentucky is right behind them.
I was about to say, it kind of shows you who they think is going to win that game, don't they?
Yeah.
Just based on the betting odds with that.
Might be a little bit of a hint.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in Texas Tech or Arkansas?
I had that matchup in my bracket, and I've got Texas Tech beating Arkansas.
Okay.
I
didn't
mean,
believe in Arkansas.
the way
that
Boogie
much.
played, though, in the last game against St. John's, I did not see a whole lot of the Texas Tech Drake game, but I did watch a lot of the Drake Missouri game. Ooh. So something else that's happening on social media here in 2025. Have you seen the fake press conferences?
Yes.
Being put out there. The fake press conferences.
The ones that with AI?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, no, you can't air a single one of them on the
They did the Missouri coach in a fake press conference after we just lost to a bunch of accountants. Well, not really, but.
No, I mean, and at the same time, is this the one that's like, hey, it's Eli Manning, and I haven't done anything in my life except for throw one lucky pass to a guy that barely caught it. Like something like that.
He needed his helmet.
Yeah, needed his helmet to make a catch. I hadn't done anything else except for that. And y'all, and I'm going to be a Hall of Famer.
These fake press conferences, I think it's entertaining, although it does make me think about a certain former Florida coach who really didn't appreciate being associated with a fake photo.
Well, the photo was real. It just wasn't him. He says.
Yeah, he says.
He says.
Look like him.
Isn't that what basically got him out of the SEC is because he says he couldn't handle that? I mean, he didn't say that, but let's be honest. The amount of emotion that man put into the fact that we all had fun with one picture.
Thank you.
Dude, get over it.
Thank you.
Do you know how many people in this world make fun of me on a daily basis? Just go to the SPHL fan page. Like, I mean,
I'm right there with you.
I mean, come on.
I chose to not look after that Pelham game, the one Havoc game.
Well, we won the following night.
We did win the following
Yes,
night.
We won the following night.
Honestly, though, nobody was talking bad about us that night. It was, I mean,
Well, I noticed the more I talk about the fan cave, the less junk I get from the fan cave.
Well, it's also not the fan cave. It's the SPHL fan page. It's the one that's all the other fans watching.
Oh
the
no,
games.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I just go to the Havoc fan cave.
Well, the reason I go to
Facebook
the reason I have the SPHL fan page is mainly for the Havoc Hour, like we have tomorrow night, so that I can share it in there, so that fans and non-fans, because I would love for non-fans. I mean, tomorrow night would be probably a good opportunity, but I love for non-fans to hop in and watch, because our coaches show / player show that we do is 1,000% different than anybody else around the SPHL, around college athletics, and around pro sports.
Yeah.
Nobody does it the way that we do it.
And by the way, we are going to have a few more Havoc Hours in the month of April.
Did we talk to Jen?
How many?
Did we talk to Jen DeTulio? Stockton Mortgage?
There's going to be a few more.
I mean,
coming up.
2?
Look,
so what is the number of Huntsville Stars players from 2004 that I'm going to set it at 11?
John?
Number of players that ended up in the show.
Number of players that ended up in Major League Baseball
from
after
2007.
the 04
What 2004? What you were probably 3?
He was still in diapers.
I was 4.
He was
So
still in diapers.
I'll throw out 4.
10.
10. Wow.
Now there were more that had
Surprising.
played in the major leagues, like Matt Ford, but he
Yeah.
played in the major leagues in 03, so it wasn't after the 04 season.
Okay.
Manny Parra married a friend of mine.
I'm very upset over
Yeah.
here.
He got a major league
sad.
career and he got an awesome wife.
I didn't get to
Play
talk
basketball.
I didn't get to talk about Homestead, Joe.
No drive tonight. We got Alabama women's basketball.
That's why Steve's been here.
Sports Center. Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. There are no mid-major teams in the Sweet 16 this year. 15 teams from just 3 conferences: the Big 10, Big 12, and the SEC, with a record 7 teams left. The only other conference represented